This is A Drink with the Hurricane, the talk show discussing all things growing your home care business. This video is sponsored by Home Care Evolution, where we help home care agencies adapt to changing circumstances, transform their business so that they can thrive for years to come.
Now that we've got our task tracker and who's doing what and who we're assigning things to, now let's make sure that operations manual is updated. And you have all the people who are doing the tasks that are now being delegated to somebody else write the updated manual, the updated task, how to do it. And then the person it's being delegated to, have that person perform the task by reading it without the person present. If the person can't perform the task, the person who wrote it has to rewrite it until the person who has to do the task can now do it independently and it is clear and it makes sense. That's how you know you got a good operations manual. Is this good stuff? Yeah, right? You liking this? Good. I love it. Let me show you this. Bring this up. So this is an example. This is something that we teach the Elite Academy clients on the operations manual, right? You want to basically have what's required that you need to do your job. We call our tasks, we call them hats. Like I'm putting on my answer the phone hat right now, or I'm putting on my sales hat right now. So how do I make a sale? How do I answer phone? How do I deal with a client complaint, right? So I'm putting on these customer service hats or whatever it is. So, what materials do you need? And then when you do your steps, make it as detailed as you need to. So I'm going to read this here, right? So, steps. Write the steps out here. Use sub-steps to explain in more detail, and even sub-steps if necessary to show options. Try to be as thorough as possible. Remember, and this is what we always tell people when you're writing an operations manual, imagine that when you're writing this task, you are trying to teach an alien how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's how you do it. So if an alien were to land here and they know English, you got to teach them how to do a peanut butter and jelly. Well, first, you got to get a butter knife. This is what a butter knife is. You got to get 2 of those. You got to get a plate to hold the bread. You got to go get bread. You got to take the bread out of the loaf. Step by step on how to make it. Dumb it down as if this person has no idea what they're doing, so that this way if you ever have to replace somebody or somebody new comes in the team, anybody can come in and they don't waste your time getting up to speed, learning the responsibilities. It's all in the manual. That's how our operation is. Every time we hire a new staff member, within 2 weeks, they're up to speed and they're pretty much good to go. There's still other stuff that we go over with them, but it's not the basics because the manual does it. An example of how we answer the phone. I'm not going to read it because it's literally 12 steps, but this is how we answer the phone in our office. You got to have a pen. You got to have an inquiry sheet. You got to have a notepad to take notes, and you got to answer one of the receivers for line 1, 2, or 3. These are the different lines in our office. Here's what you say, blah, 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 blah. Push the talk button before you speak, and then you smile. Why is that important? Because the person on the other end, for whatever reason, can hear you smiling. They can. And if you're not smiling, and that's important, right, guys? Right? They wouldn't be here because they're on a trip with their family vacation, right? Or family. They're taking 2 weeks off. Oh, man. Good for them. That's awesome. They have a capable executive director, and you're actually here getting more training and more know-how to be able to go back and do a better job running the organization. And you're already doing an amazing job running the organization. Next step, hire an executive director. Now that you have your plan, now that you have your, what is it, the second one? You have your, what was the second step? Now that you've removed yourself from the day-to-day operations, thank you, and you have your task trackers done, then number 3, you've updated your operations manual. It's time to get an executive director in here to be able to take over the workload of all the final things that I want to set off and move forward with, right? Now, when you hire an executive director, there's several ways to do it. What I'm a big fan of, I love promoting from within. Somebody on the team that everybody already looks up to. Someone on the team that already has the respect of the rest of the people in the organization. someone on the team who's upwardly mobile, who is a problem solver, getting things done. You are already comfortable delegating tasks to this person. That's why I like developing executive directors who come from that way. Nicole and I, her birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday for like the 12th time, Nicole, right? But Nicole has been my friend for like 20-something years. When Nicole started at Hurricane Marketing Enterprises, I wasn't ready to have an executive director, and she wasn't ready to be an executive director yet. But we developed our working relationship over time, and then when it came time for me to promote somebody, it was obvious who should have been the executive director of my organization, and that's what I really love to be able to do. Now, in the event you want to hire somebody from outside the organization, try to bring someone in who has strengths that are not your strengths. That is huge. Because I find when people bring in somebody just like them, it doesn't work out. Then you start butting heads and it doesn't work out the way it should. When you hire somebody who has strengths that are not yours, they're going to bring ideas, they're going to bring concepts, they're going to bring solutions to the challenges that we're facing because they think differently. And then that will allow you to play off one another in a way very similar to how Nicole and I play off one another. Because her strengths are my weaknesses. My strengths are her weaknesses. And that's a perfect relationship. And that's how my organization runs, and that's how my clients who do this, their organizations run.